Well, I'm back. And Arsenal have gone ahead to reject, a bid that will lead to the exit of Leandro Trossard into the mix. And again, we are talking Richarlison into the mix, and we are also having a talk about Kyle Walker on what Pep Guardiola, the manager of Man City, has to say about him. Remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in phones, laptops that are really brand new. Even if you want used phones and used laptops into the mix, you can as well come up with the biggest chance to see to it that everything really moves on as anticipated. Welcome to our channel. This is the Rokani Media Football, and we thank God for the gift of life. We do thank Allah for the gift of life, and let's continue to obviously do the due diligence and really put everything to where it deserves to be. Now, Fabrizio Romano came out yesterday and obviously put in a very huge story about Leandro Trossard, and this was a shocker, by the way. Never expected, but it really came in through. And he said exclusive Saudi side Al Ittihad submit proposal in the region of 35 million euros for Leandro Trossard. Decision up to Arsenal, as he's always been an important player for Mikel Arteta. Official proposal arrives ahead of Saudi Pro League deadline as Al Ittihad keep looking for new winger. So the Saudi side is really trying to push, or was really trying to get in Leandro Trossard. And guess what? We thought that by the time this bid arrived, maybe there was green light from the side of Leandro Trossard that I want to obviously go ahead and really join the Saudi Pro League. But guess what? Arsenal came up and really said the following. And Fabrizio an hour later told us that Arsenal have informed Al Ittihad about their decision to reject a 35 million euro proposal for Leandro Trossard. As exclusively revealed, he is considered key player for the project and known for sale. Al Ittihad are now targeting FC Porto winger Galeno with an official bid. Now, this came into action, all into thought of by the side of the what is it called? By the side of Saudi side, because Arsenal had gone ahead to bring in Raheem Sterling, and I think they thought that by the coming in of Raheem Sterling, the guy called Leandro Trossard was surplus to requirement, right? And Arsenal, when approached, they were like, no please, we want to keep Leandro Trossard here because Leandro Trossard is tested and approved at Arsenal. He is a person who is tested and approved, and you cannot come out and really downplay his efforts as a player in what he has gone ahead to contribute to Arsenal. In his first season, he had 11 assists and 1 goal. Last season, he had 17 goals and I think some 3 assists, meaning that he had a goal involvement of 20, and there is no way you let a person who is tested and approved like Leandro Trossard, who you are really having on a permanent, to leave to obviously replace him with Raheem Sterling. And I 100% believe that Raheem Sterling is really going to compete a lot with Bukayo Saka. I tell you, he's going to be played a lot onto the right attacking side of the midfield or the right forward, because I think he can thrive everywhere. And he comes in to obviously add on the depth of Arsenal, and that means Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli are really going to be tussling it out for what we call the left forward. Then Jesus and Hazard are really going to be tussling it out for the center forward, and the right forward, Raheem Sterling and Bukayo Saka. I think that's really great, and a decision that Arsenal have gone ahead to make to really keep this guy around and see to it that everything really goes on as to plan is really one of those that we need to come up and obviously give a very huge hail about, because that shows you the intent at which Mikel Arteta wants to see the competition onto that left side really surge between Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. Trossard has 1 goal so far this season. Martinelli, who has gone ahead to play more minutes than him, has no goal, meaning that the player in Trossard is a very integral player for the club of us, and that's why they cannot really move him on. And as we speak right now, he has got ahead to join the side of Belgium, and they are going to be playing into the international there is an international friendly, and then what we call a qualifier. I think they're going to be playing like 2 or 3 matches, and they are beginning mid this week, and you're going to be letting you know how everything is going to be panning out. And all prayers to the players who are really such they don't really get injuries, because when you look at the injuries at Arsenal, you wouldn't like to see it that they really kick into their return, because when they return, they're going to be facing Tottenham Hotspur. Jesus is injured, Tomiyasu is injured, KNTN is injured, Timber is injured, and the other player known as Declan Rice is really suspended for the game of Tottenham Hotspur. That means if you really get more injuries during the international break, then your squad depth will obviously be very weak or very light, and that tells you that it can really cause Arsenal to lose points. Yet right now, Arsenal doesn't want to lose points, and they wouldn't like to lose any play, because when they return, almost every week 2 games are really going to be played. That is it. We are going to be having 2 games to be played. So that boils into a situation of Arsenal keeping all its players fit. The new format of the Champions League is very tricky, you understand, and the new format the new format of the Champions League is really tricky, and they need to obviously keep consistently winning into the Premier League, because a team like Man City this time round has gonna hate to start on a high, and they told us why. They're really very, very, very considerate when it comes to starting on a high, because for the seasons they've gonna to start badly, they've almost gonna hate to obviously win the trophy, and they've gonna hate to work hard to see to it that everything really moves on as planned. So that is all about Leandro Trossard. Arsenal have come out and turned down what we call obviously turned down what we call the side of the bid coming in from Saudi Arabia of Leandro Trossard. And remember, they would have gone ahead to make in some profits, because they went ahead to buy the player from Brighton for £27 million. You know, if you are really having 35 million euros, you know, on the table, you can even negotiate, because that is the minimum they are willing to pay. They could even negotiate to get in 40, but here's you that all what Arsenal want is to keep Leandro Trossard into their squad. Now, let's go to the side of Tottenham Hotspur. Ange was asked on how frustrating it is with Richarlison that he just hasn't seemed to find any rhythm since coming to Spurs. He said, yeah, that is it, and that's a challenge. I guess it's something we've got to look at again. He's been in the cycle for quite a while and predating me, I guess. We've put a lot of thought into it. We look at a really sort of conservative approach with him. He didn't play in any of the preseason games, and he's really only played 20 minutes of the team football. But again, obviously, he's had a setback, so it's something we just got to go back with. Richie and had a setback, so it's something we just got to go back with. All right. He's such a handful, he says. Let's get it right. So it's something we just got to go with Richie and walk through the steps now of getting him back up and running, because, you know, when he's fit, he's such a handful. Even last week, that 20 minutes he played, you can see the options he gave Spurs in that position. But like you said, it's frustrating probably for him as much as anyone else. But frustrating for us too. Now, obviously, when you look at the side known as Tottenham Hotspur, they're really going through a bad spell, because all their strikers are really injured. Dominic Solanke got an ankle injury, and the other side, known as Richarlison, returned and played 20 minutes and really went ahead to get a setback, meaning that they are playing without centre forward, and it's really very bad. However much you're really having a guy called Son Heung-min who can lead the line, but I think you need what we call a typical number 9. And when you get in the typical number 9, the rest will be history. And I tell you, nothing's really going to stop Spurs from not winning games if they don't really get any of their number 9s back. Timo Werner is one of those players that I thought could obviously play as a false number 9, but surprisingly, he's being played off the bench, you know? So it is really something that is not really moving into the right direction of the manager of Spurs, but I tell you, a lot has to go his way to see that everything really pans out into how he wants it. Now, Pep Guardiola, the manager of Man City, has come out and said the following about Kyle Walker. I said, we need Kyle Walker back. John Stones back. All players ready. The schedule until the end of the season will be difficult. Pre-season is over. It's over officially. The real season starts after the international break. So he's like, all what we've been doing, the first 3 games we're gonna hit to play, that has been part of the international break. The pre-season. Players are obviously getting rhythm in and obviously getting the real stature of fitness that could obviously take them through to another level of game they're supposed to be playing at. So I really found it very important to see to it that a lot goes their way, and the manager himself at Man City is like, after the international break, the season officially begins. Obviously, because this is where all the players signed will obviously get into the team. Like for Arsenal, they have Carafiori, they have Merino, they have Sterling, and they also have Neto, the goalkeeper. Meaning that amidst the injury of a player called Merino, the rest of the players can be integrated into the team, and we're going to hit to see that Carafiori has already gone ahead to be integrated into the team. Then the other guy that we can talk about is Raheem Sterling, and we all believe that he's a very good stage of a person, and a lot is really gonna be happening in his favor as a player. So that is the guy known as what's the name? Kyle Walker and Pep Guardiola. He needs John Stones back and Kyle Walker, because we all know to it that Kyle Walker has been playing at Man City because of his pace. And he's that kind of player that you obviously feel like you are safe when you're having him into your team. That is Kyle Walker for you. So we wait and see how that pans out. But when you look at Man City, have they even signed in a player? Savinho has already gone ahead to fit in a glove like the side of Man City, and Ika Gundogan, you know. And Manchester United, out of the 5 players they've gone ahead to sign, it's only Manuel Ugarte that hasn't gone ahead obviously get to that team. Lenny Yoro is really injured, but his progress is really very, very okay, because he's off what we call the clutches, and he's really trying to really walk and drive, you know. So your thoughts onto Arsenal, Trossard, Arsenal exit, rejected, you know, what do you make about it? And what do you make about Richarlison being injured, and what the manager of Spurs has to say about him? And then lastly, what do you make about Kyle Walker and John Stones, as their return is soon and their manager is like, they need to be back because the preseason is over after the international break, the season or the real season commences. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. And may the living to God bless you and bless you abundantly. We out.